This is Bobby Jones again. Has Dr. Jones picked up any of his messages yet? Okay. Thank you.
Well, all we have to go on are the numbers at this point. Right now, they're not looking good.
Does that mean the hospital won't reopen?
It's a very real possibility.
That's unthinkable.
Well, I'm trying to stay positive, but the truth is, our resources are limited.
How's the pain?
It's actually a little bit better. I just don't want to have to start relying on those painkillers.
It's better than suffering your way through this crisis.
I just can't believe it. For 6 weeks, I avoided this surgery just so I would be available in case there was a crisis. And the day I get anesthetized and I'm laying on the table, all hell breaks loose. I swear it's like the whole thing was planned.
All right, quiet, everybody.
Everything.
Quiet. I've decided to take this fiasco into my own hands.
Meaning?
Well, I made some calls, pulling in a trunk of markers, I'd like you all to know. And I've come up with a contingency plan to get the hospital back on its feet using ELQ funds.
ELQ's from everything. Where did you find
If you'll be quiet, I'll tell you. Now, I'm offering a short-term loan. May I reiterate that it's nothing more than a loan to help get the hospital back on its feet. Now, there'll be very little risk involved for ELQ, provided there's someone in charge who pays more attention to the ledgers than the sports pages.
Oh, for Pete's sake, Father.
If you're for real, Edward, I'm sure there are all kinds of safeguards that can be implemented to make sure this never happens again. Right, Alan?
If he's for real.
Huh. Here, just take a look at these figures. General Hospital can be up and running by the time the banks open tomorrow.
I'm really confused. I must have asked you a dozen times to help me, and all I got was a deep and resounding no.
You know, Alan, from the moment that you moved in as temporary chief of staff, the entire hospital took a nosedive. Now, if you won't protect the reputation of this family, I'll do it myself, as usual.
Just a minute, Edward. It's not fair. With all due respect, Alan inherited this mess.
Don't waste your breath, Monica.
Edward, this is all fine and well, but it's just a bunch of figures on a piece of paper unless Ned signs off on it.
And I hate to put a damper on things, but I have to ask myself, why would he?
Ned won't be a problem.
Don't be so sure about that. Just like old times, you make decisions expecting the rest of us to nod our heads in collective agreement.
Well, now, perhaps you don't understand the gravity of this situation, Ned. The hospital is closed.
And that's unfortunate. These are ELQ funds.
Well, of course they are, Ned, but there'll be no problem in using them to ride out this crisis.
Our family has always been deeply connected to the hospital. Half of us sit on the board.
Which has nothing to do with ELQ. Sentiment has no place in business, Alan. Of course, you've never been able to make that distinction, so I can't expect you to do it now. You, on the other hand, know better, or at least should.
Ned, we're talking about General Hospital. It's where you take your wife when she has her contractions.
Correction. Took my wife.
Well, and Monica and Alan work there. And Steve Hardy poured his heart and soul into that hospital, and if there's any way to protect my friend's good name and all it involves is money, then I want to do it.
Fine. Then raid your own personal accounts.
Now, wait. ELQ is my company.
And I'm CEO, because that's the way you wanted it.
Oh, I see. So now you are going to punish the hospital, is that it?
Ned, Lee and I scanned Edward's proposal, and it doesn't appear that loaning the funds will jeopardize ELQ in any way.
Well, why in the world would I want to jeopardize ELQ? All right, Ned. Now, we can access the funds by 9 a.m. tomorrow. And after that's been taken care of, we'll address the next very important problem. That is the lack of qualified leadership. And once the leadership issue has been taken care of, I think that the hospital has a very fine chance of staying afloat for good.
It's a no-brainer. You'd have to have no brain to agree to this. Come on. You didn't really expect me to agree to this. I can't cash loan with no collateral to a money pit like a hospital that's already so far in the red that black is but a distant memory?
The hospital is not a money pit, it's a necessity.
There are other hospitals, Alan. Look, ELQ is still recovering from the leveraged buyout attempt by Jax and my mother. I am doing backflips to get this company back on track. We won't even mention what it's cost me personally. I'm not about to throw away the progress that I've made for a lost cause with great sentimental value attached. Don't take it personally. It's not.
Well, I am not about to let this drop. Let's go really crunch the numbers.
You all right? Are you? Alan.
It's over, Monica.
There has to be somebody who can help us. Huh? What happens now?
I just said goodbye to Lee and Justice. They're gonna go over the books one more time. See if there's any hope.
Oh, I should leave. Alan, I'm so sorry. This must be awful for you.
For all of us.
Good night. Take care.
Okay. You look exhausted.
I can't imagine why.
You need to spend about a week in bed.
I wonder if anybody at the hospital would notice that I was gone.
Oh, don't listen to Edward.
I gotta get some sleep, Monica. I'm going home.
You are home. Come on, your room is all ready. You need looking after. Stay.
Alan, I hold you completely responsible for this.
Oh, here we go.
You know, if the hospital had been under proper management, Ned wouldn't have found it necessary to take such a hard line. He would have been more receptive to the investment.
All right, that's enough. I've had enough of you pointing fingers and assigning blame. Let's look at some of your brilliant decisions of late. First of all, you railroaded Ned out as CEO. You allowed Tracy and Jax to bring ELQ to its knees, and then you went down on your knees to try to bring Ned back as CEO. Gee, it's a shame that some of your management skills didn't rub off on me. Well, at least you're a wonderful, caring father. You've got that to fall back on.
There are no words, Edward.
Well?
Alan was wrong. You are a brilliant manager. The best I've ever seen. He could have done a lot worse than pick up a few pointers from you.
Don't you have anything better to do than stand around and eavesdrop?
Yes, only a master manipulator can get people to do what they don't want to do for the good of the company. Or to serve your vision of how life is supposed to be.
I must be losing my touch then. I couldn't even get you to agree to help the hospital.
Well, that's because I'm no longer under your control. The axis shifted, grandfather. I'm the boss. I'm CEO of the only thing you love more than grandmother. You know what that makes me? Your wife. There's irony there since I lost mine. But there's also consolation, because I've got focus. And I'll be making your life a lame duck hell as long as I'm still around.